Matthew chapter 26, verses 36 to 41. Then Jesus went with them to a place called Gethsemane, and he said to his disciples, "Sit here while I go over there and pray." He took with him Peter and the two sons of Zebedee, and began to be grieved and agitated. Then he said to them, "I am deeply grieved, even to death. Remain here and stay awake with me." And going a little further, he threw himself on the ground and prayed, "My Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me. Yet not what I want, but what you want." And he came to the disciples and found them sleeping. And he said to Peter, "So, could you not stay awake with me 1 hour? Stay awake and pray that you may not come into the time of trial. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak."
We will probably never forget the Holy Week that is just now beginning, the Holy Week of 2020. When we look back on it, we will most likely remember the isolation, the impossibility of being with others, to gather even in the places of prayer, even at the most sacred time of the year. But it's not only the coronavirus that makes this Holy Week different and challenging. Some of us are maybe disturbed by the rise of populisms here and there in the world, or the increasing polarization in politics, spreading doubt on our ability to live with one another. Or even in the life of the church, we have been dealt with a number of blows, finding evil where we least suspected it. So it's been hard not to feel surrounded by the negative. And it's in this regard that I have been thinking about someone in particular that I would like to talk about today. It's related to the place where we had our recent European meeting, a city in Poland called Wrocław. It's the birthplace of Dietrich Bonhoeffer, a Lutheran pastor who was hanged days before the end of the Second World War, and the birthplace of Edith Stein, a Jewish woman that died at Auschwitz in 1942. And it's about Edith Stein that I have been thinking a lot. When she was still a student and not yet the brilliant philosopher and woman of faith that she was later to become, Edith Stein read an egregiously depressing novel. It was not only superficial and devoid of hope, but I suspect the picture it painted of humanity gave her feelings of deep dejection. She wrote, "I could no longer trust those who were around me." It was the year 1912, and that year in her hometown of Wrocław, there was a Bach festival. And Edith Stein, having great love for Bach, the music of Johann Sebastian Bach, decided to attend all of the concerts. But one concert in particular was important to her. It took place at the Hala Stolica, the Centennial Hall, where, as it happens, we ourselves prayed throughout the European meeting in Poland. It was during one of the concerts that a hymn was sung, the hymn, "A Mighty Fortress is Our God." And as she heard this hymn, something in Edith shifted, and her depression was lifted. And although she was an agnostic at the time and didn't have the words or concepts to spell out what was happening, she connected with what the hymn was proclaiming: the victory of good over evil. The reading we just heard shows Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane. The feeling of being surrounded by evil permeates almost every moment. We are told, without any attempt to mitigate the feelings that are being described, that Jesus began to feel agitated and grieved, saying to them, "I am deeply grieved even to death. Remain here and stay awake with me." No apology is offered by the gospel writers for this desolate description of the full humanity of Jesus. They're not afraid to show him engaged in a struggle, a costly struggle that leads him to his crucifixion and death. People of faith have always known that words are inadequate or too poor to capture what's going on here. So metaphors are sometimes used, metaphors of battle, of struggle. But they are perhaps not the most helpful for us today. The Gospel of John pulls another stop. At one point, trying to describe what's going on in the Passion of Jesus, John speaks of a child, or literally of a new human being coming into the world. It's a passage you find in John 16. A woman giving birth to a child has pain because her time has come. But when her baby is born, she forgets the anguish because of her joy that a child is born into the world. That is what the Passion story is about. It's about a new human being, a new reality coming into the world because of the struggle Jesus waged to the very end. And we are asked to watch and pray with him. What happens when we do that? Well, for one thing, a space is created within us where we can welcome a reality that we have not produced. That doesn't stop us from seeing evil, but it does keep us from being obsessed by it. And we are made able to remember, we are capable of remembering the one who overcame evil. Our founder, Brother Roger, used to say, "Dare to pray, dare to sing until serene joy returns." I think Brother Roger was connecting with the experience Edith Stein had when she heard the hymn proclaiming the victory of good. So we too can hear the call. Dare to pray, dare to sing.